Ah, the wonderful sound of all the bugs in the summertime. So, I made a little comment on Average Joe's page about when he made his little scraps leftover solar stands. And these are the stands that I built for my east and west wings, which were made, fairly cheaply. You hear my turkeys turkeying back there off in the background. So I have that array over there that catches the sun late in the evening. These guys catch it nice and early in the morning. And since they're catching it late in the evening and early in the morning, you need a fairly substantial tilt since the sun is pretty low on the horizon. So this particular set I built probably about 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. And these are built out of 3x4 landscape timbers, little treated landscape timbers. These days they're about $6 a piece. And then for these original ones, I use Unistrut. Well, Unistrut prices unfortunately have gotten kind of ridiculous. So, and then I've got a couple of field posts that are driven into the ground, and that keeps them from going anywhere. And we've had some pretty substantial storms and rains and winds and gusts of winds up into the 50-mile-an-hour range, and really have just not had any issues. This was the latest one that I put in. So these are using some Q-cell panels I got from a friend of mine for free. It came out of some solar install. They've got a few defects, so they don't give out their full power, but they're free. And this combination of these 9 panels, I get about, on a nice clear sunny sky, I get about 1600 watts of power at peak out of them. On the typical hazy overcast days like we've been having lately, I get about 1200 to 1400 watts out of them at peak. In the case of these, instead of using Unistrut, I got some 2x4x10 treated and used those in place of the Unistrut. And it actually made the assembly go a little bit smoother. I've got some panel clamps that I got off of Amazon. I'll put some links at the bottom. These things have worked great. And some little mid clamps that I'm using up there to hold them together at the end. And these little brackets I just happen to have, there's some little Galvy brackets. I'll probably replace them with some aluminum stuff later. But, cheap little Simpson strong tie little brackets that hold the side panels in place for the time being. And then just using some lag bolts, tying into there, and your typical 3-inch deck screws, screwing into 2x4s and that type of stuff. One thing that was I just happen to have on the shelf, and they worked perfect for this, is the screws that I use for this are actually they're the concrete drill a hole and then screw straight into concrete, little blue screws you get at Lowe's. And they're a nice heavy duty as well as thick screw, and they worked perfect for tying these guys down, and I've been happy with it. So the plan is build another one of these racks this coming weekend and show you the process. But basically you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of the $6 3x4x8 boards. And then in this particular one, I used 4 2x4x10s. But the reality of it is you could probably use 3 and it would be just fine. When I was lining this guy up, I put this one up at the top, which has kind of helped. If anything, for the next one, I'll probably put it back here on this back side and line it up back here. So you could do it with 3. 4 is probably a little better for a little bit better strength. And then I'll add the field posts, which go into the ground and get screwed to that. And as you can see, this thing's really not, You know, it's got a little bit of flex to it, etc. Once the field posts are in the ground, it really is just not going anywhere. Walk over here to the versions of these that I've expanded on. This one I built, I think, sometime towards the end of last year. This is some panels I've got from Santan Solar. I ended up with those 3 up there and these 6 over here, so 9 panels in total. They were having a deal when they opened up their place in Savannah. And so basically the same kind of setup. This I'm using all Unistrut for. To do this out of 2x4s, you could probably do it as well. At some point I may give it a shot just to see how it'll turn out. And then I have this additional brace which helps support the upper to keep it from tipping. Makes it so it's not tip happy. And these are using the Pylex Helical screws. And I'll put a link to those in the bottom. I do have an Amazon affiliate stuff. The difference is I will never put a link to anything for Amazon affiliate that is something that I would not buy. You will never have me posting something there just to get the affiliates, because if it's crap, why would I promote it? I don't want it and you don't want it, and we're not going to go that route. But those I've used for this. I've used those in the ground. That's actually what's supporting my main solar array. This guy over here, same deal. I actually need to add an additional stick of Unistrut. This one I wanted to see how little bit of Unistrut I could use. So this one's only got 2 of the uppers, and it really needs a 3rd to kind of give it a little bit more stiffness in the middle. But again, one of those helical screws. My main array is sitting on 6 of those. This has been in the ground since March of 2020, and you got a little bit of flex to this thing, but it's never had any more flex than it originally went in. And again, it's been through lots of storms, high winds. It just works. This I happen to have a whole bunch of Unistrut I got for free from project, and then some Unistrut that I bought to help put this together. But this array has held up well. But these little east-west facing arrays, 60, 70 bucks. That's basically what you're looking at to put one of these arrays together. So we will do a little project come this week, and going forward, I'm going to try and do a little bit more projects and a little bit more frequently, and we'll have some fun. See y'all later.